Welcome to the One Hustle Show, where we're here to inspire,
motivate,
and educate you about other people's hustle in hopes that you can find
your why.
Welcome to the One Hustle Show, where we talk about your hustle. Today we have a guest that the universe brought us. It was a beautiful how we just met. We literally just met, and we had such great conversations. We're like, hey, we're gonna have you on the podcast. So I'm very excited to have our guest on today. I heard a little bit about his background, but I want him to introduce himself, just so I can know who you are. And then I have my co-host and my mom, New Home Yogi, Laurel. Let's do this. So tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are.
Name, who you are.
Firstly, thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have met you guys very, we say randomly, right? My name is Tim Branyan, and also thank you for having me on here and making that decision. And I'm looking forward to this relationship externally here, and how I can be of value to you guys in the audience. So congrats on this as well. All this is awesome. So my name is Tim Branyan. I'm the founder of a platform called TrueFans.com. And just to go down that road for a second, a lot of people are familiar with some of our competitors out there. The biggest difference between us and them is the fact that we are invite only for content creators. We pay more, we pay faster. We have additional features and functions. The fact that we aren't open, like a Walmart, to just anybody and everybody, we're able to serve at a high level for all these different content creators from a vast background. Learn how to monetize, learn their value. But the biggest kicker is that we don't allow porn, we don't allow adult content. So we're a home. And that's where we really wanted to stamp our flag, was to be a home for folks that wanted to monetize, but didn't necessarily want that stigma, that category. So I am a father. Outside of the business stuff, I'm a father of two beautiful human beings. I've got a son. His name's Caden. He is, what's wild to think about is that he may watch this at some point down the road. So I'm always cognitive. I'm always thinking about, what is my son's going to see? This is my opportunity to speak to him and other people's sons and daughters. So it's just a different. So anyway, my son's name's Caden. He is 3.5 years old on today's day. And then my daughter, my beautiful
today?
daughter. Currently, present
time.
I thought you meant like today.
I'm thinking about this being out there in the world. And then my daughter, her name is Finley. And my wife is Marla. So I'm super blessed. External of the success that we've had in software and technology and business, I'm blessed with a great friend network. I'm blessed with a beautiful family that supports me in this crazy adventures and entrepreneurs, you guys know. And just excited about the future. I think that's a good little start, right?
I love it.
I like it. So the name of the show is One Hustle.
Mm-hmm.
How it came about is, I always told Daniel, is all it takes is one. Focus on the one, and it'll multiply.
One person, one transaction.
I was gonna say, when did that come up?
So it was started with when I was in real estate initially, just start with one. It was always one. Like when we started initially working together, I think it was like the first time she quit her job off the sales floor. So she quit twice. They got her back and brought her in management. Like, hey, here's the weekends off. You never had this. Here's this dangle the carrot, and, gave it to her, and she took it. And it was for the better because she grew. But I forgot what I was talking about that.
The one.
But the one.
All
but once we worked
one.
together, it was the one. Always have one. Focus on the one person. If you really go all in on that one person, it multiplies. That one person gives you 5 to 10 people, and then that's your impact. The same thing that Daryl was talking about, the seeds. You can count the seeds that are in an apple. You can't count how many apples the seeds will produce. And It's just so crazy, the ripple effect of the change you can have on the world and, on one person. And that's why we did this. And so it's powerful, the one.
And we were talking about that coming up the stairs, and just the result of what this is going to become. And I was fortunate to be a fly on the wall in the back when Daryl was here. I've been fortunate to meet Daryl, really connect this week. And just, I'm sitting back there just impressed, thankful that you have become who you are. And I was waiting to say this too, also proud. I want to recognize as a parent, bravo. And what a profound thing for you to be showing and teaching. I even tear up. This is your son. This is a byproduct of. And so, thank you for that as a veteran, for what that's worth. And I was telling you this is key. The best way to thank a veteran is to pursue freedom, pursue your goals, become who you're meant to be, and take advantage of what we have as an infrastructure in a country. And dude, salute to both of you guys. So I've been waiting to like actually say what my thought was while we were outside. So
I'll keep it up for you. And
Yeah.
thank you for your service.
I'm gonna hold you accountable to that.
Oh yeah, I will. It's my duty. Like we were talking about, it's my duty to change the world. Like if you can, you must. I always tell her. The more we do, and people are like, "Hey, why are you doing so much?" Because I can.
Yeah.
I know I can. I have the capacity to. And if you can, you must. If
your
you have
responsibility,
it's your
right?
responsibility, because there's so many people that need to hear this message out there. There's so many people that just need that mindset shift, that one conversation, and it comes from the inner conversations you have from being around people. Like being around you, I instantly recognized this. I shook your hand. Like the other guy, I gave him knuckles for some reason, but it's weird how you do that. And like I connected with you. Psychology. I dialed back. I'm like, why did I do that? But I resonated with you, and then she was talking with you, and then it led to you being here, and I don't think that was on accident. So I really hope that people are listening today and taking notes, because I feel like this is going to be some fire.
I appreciate that, because I say Daniel is my biggest accomplishment. Like when I found out I was pregnant at 18, I really didn't know it or how I stood on, being a young mom, because I never wanted children. Like I've shared that with Daniel. Like my vision in life was never like, I want to get married and I want to have kids, all that. My vision, I wanted to be like my aunt. And my aunt has no children. She lived in a flat with my uncle in San Francisco on Nob Hill in Gramercy Towers. And she could run up the streets of San Francisco in her heels with me as a kid.
Yeah.
And that was my vision. I wanted to be a successful businesswoman who ran a business, and nowhere in my mind did I ever have the wedding dress and marriage and kid idea. So when I got pregnant with him, being 18, I wanted to prove the world wrong. And I've always been that way, because the way my father raised me, it was, don't tell me how you can't get it done, tell me how you can. And so I really went full force when I was pregnant with Daniel. I took naps. I put classical music on my belly when I slept. I didn't eat fast food, which I was not a big fast food person. I didn't drink soda. I went to the vitamin store and took this stuff that's supposed to help him with his brain, and it obviously worked, and it tasted nasty, and I did everything to the T to prove that young moms were different, and that I could do it different, and that I wasn't gonna be the normal, teen mom that didn't make it, And so I think having a child to care for and catapulted my life, because, I did 6 figures at 18, I made 200 at 19, and the rest is history. And so he, like I was telling Daryl, didn't feel the effects of a single income, because I was determined to give this child a life beyond what he even imagined. And my grandmother, God bless her, she's not here anymore, but
She's here.
I have a sixth sense that I've never lost, which is being able to smell things I shouldn't be able to smell. But with that, I can smell when my grandma visits me. So the other day I was like, Graham's with us, right now.
And it was at the same place that she used to go to lunch for, and we happened to be there, and we were shopping, and we felt her presence, and we're just living at really high capacity right now, and it's just the things that have happened are just so unexplainable. It's just it has to be, we recognize what it is. It's a feeling.
But she used to tell me, Daniel's going to do things beyond what you can imagine, and he shows me every day.
While I understand that, my hope is that all the viewers, I'm assuming this is going to be a large entrepreneurial listen base and or audience base, and I want the depth of what you just said. I want people to really capture that you, and I'm just going to backtrack.
That's fine.
You were talking about the detail of how you create your vision plans. You're talking about the detail that you put into being present in the future, in a sense, or being at the destination, expecting the things that are coming your way. You're in the way of these things, and the depth of what you taught me. Again, iron sharpens iron, right? What you were teaching me in what you were saying on the last podcast was to get definitive about what you want, and see it and feel it and believe it. So I just want to reinforce that to these people, that there's definitely something to that, and to continue following you and watching you closely. So I don't want them to miss that attribute.
That's why I wanted him to start the podcast.
Yeah.
I just like to learn about people.
And I like connecting with people on a high level. And so if I get to have the opportunity to connect with people, and that's what the most important thing is I want to do. I want to connect and I want to learn and I want to gain new relationships like we discussed. Like, it's not so much about the money anymore. Like, it's like I want to create more quality relationships.
Well,
I want to create more quality experiences with the people that I help, that really need my help, that are in proportion to what I believe that my value is.
it's deep.
And that's
It's way beyond like most people that I mean, especially like at your age. And I'm not saying like, people have to be this way at a certain age. Just if you've come a long way, and that's always what's curious to me. I always want to know, when I met Logan, when I met Daryl, I'm always aggressively curious. I've been that way my whole life. And I feel like that's a good thing. Entrepreneurs listening to this, be aggressively curious. Fail fast, but be aggressively curious. And, with that, I immediately am like, what are you reading? And you heard me downstairs when we were talking before. I'm like, when you were growing up, were you plugged into YouTube? Who's your mentor? What do you read? What do your rituals look like? What do your daily habits look like? How do you, who do you say you are? I just want to know. I'm aggressively curious in like how people have attained high levels of success. I've never been the hater. I've never been the guy that like saw somebody. I grew up playing some sports. The guy that was better than me, I studied him. I wanted to build a relationship. How can we mutually benefit here? I've never been the guy that like saw somebody that had a nice watch, nice house, and was like, thought the negative way. That would limit me. It limits people. I hate to see it. That toxicity, that you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that's just so much of society. They have limiting beliefs. They had this upbringing, and a lot of these beliefs aren't even theirs. You realize that. I mean, to answer your question, I filled my head with people that I was given to by a mentor. When I detailed cars, I walked up to people, asked to detail, really nice cars. I went after the big ones. I wanted, to clean Rolls Royces and Bentleys and Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I wanted to clean nice cars. And
did you set out to meet those people, or was
I
it
did.
just like that's the car?
No,
He literally drove up to
I
a discount.
I got
one
bullied
time.
in school. I got bullied in school and wanted to go into online school. My mom said, you have to work. Perfect. Bet. I'm going to go detail cars. So I went to go detail cars, and the detailing thing, it's just life experience, and I started, and then I figured out what price point I wanted to be, what kind of cars I wanted to clean, and I just did it. And
So you forethought all that. It wasn't.
I just went out and got it. I didn't want to go to school. Started with me not wanting to go to school because I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do the normal thing. So mom said, go make money, get a job, and then you can go to online school. So I went to online school, and I went to freshman year, I went to regular school, and after that I started going online, and I just developed from that as just real life entrepreneur. Like, I started my detail company, and I did it for like 3 or 4 years before I got into real estate, and I got into real estate, and it just evolved. But where it started from is listening to YouTubes and listening to Tony Robbins, listening to, I listened to Grant Cardone early on, but that wasn't one of the main people that I was influenced by. It was my mentor telling me to listen to all these YouTubes, and he said, listen to it instead of music while you wash cars. Time hack, like, I'm filling my mind all day, and I was like a sponge. Like, that's all I wanted to listen to. I just was like, I want to understand how what the secret to success is. Like, how does this guy, I saw his tax statements on or I saw like on the floorboard, there was like, it was a check for $250,000 deposits, and like, he was a motivational speaker, and he did like, network marketing, and it was like so cool. Like, when you clean people's cars and you see that there, and that's a person that's giving you advice, you listen. I wanted the life that he had. He had a good family. He had a beautiful wife. He had 2 beautiful kids. Had all the nice cars, all the nice stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn from this guy. This guy knows what he's doing. His energy. It was just something different about his energy. And I think that's the common denominators. When people that are authentic and living in their authenticity and like really produce this energy, it pours into other people. And that's why her energy has a presence, my energy has a presence, and that's why together it's like, you feel so filled up when you leave us.
I just think like what you're saying right now, and I did the same thing. I looked for clues. Success leaves clues, and I became aggressively curious. I want to know who you are, what you do, and I'm enthusiastic. I want to try to have what you have. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with like real opportunity. I had to pioneer it, and I still am, right? I'm always we talked earlier, I'm never going to retire. Why? I'm enjoying my life, building. I'm walking a line. I'm a creator. I'm part of the creator, but what I want to touch on is the reality. And I look at like content consumption the same as like food, like I look at it like there's organic food, which is, there's certain foods and sustenance that help you, that nourish your body. And the same thing is true. And there's stuff that's bad for you, right? Like we know if you eat a bunch of greasy food, or if you're undisciplined with what you consume through your mouth into your body, you become that. You emit that. And the same thing is so profoundly true with what you consume through your ears, what's vibrating in the hemispheres of your brain. Now, a lot of people may not know that. For me, I know that, and I've seen the results of both. When I was growing up, I listened to all sorts of music, and it's not just one category. But if you're listening without, intent, if you're just kind of freestyling and you're not in control of your mental diet, good luck. Especially now, you go to the grocery store right now in the United States, people are overfed, highly undernourished, heavily overdrugged. Those are the facts. Not me being mean. You go to the grocery store, you're under attack. The same thing's happening through the radio waves. Whether it's intentional or not, I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat on. I don't know. I could go down that road. I'm a nerd. I'll geek out and try to, identify that.
It's called auto-suggestion.
Yeah.
And I learned it in Think and Grow Rich, and it talks about where what you fill your brain with all day and what you think about all day you become. Well, if we're listening to music, whatever vibration it may be, I'm not even going to go down that road, but if you're filling your head with that all day, that's what you're going to become.
You ever heard of the reticular activating system?
Yes, servo mechanism in your brain that helps you, stay on. It's like
covered it a little bit ago.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Tony Robbins talked about that a lot.
Wow.
Is a servo mechanism in your brain that's it's called the reticular activated system, where it's like a fighter jet when it locks onto a target, and then that's how it, when the missile shoots, it follows a target, and that's how your brain works. It's like when you go to find a new car you like. Then you see it everywhere.
That's the analogy that got me up to speed on it. Describe that, what you just were talking about, right?
I found the SQ5, the car I have now, the Audi SQ5. When I started, when I got it, I saw them everywhere. I was like, damn, these cars are everywhere. And it's not that they were everywhere. It's just your brain wasn't looking for those. But when you instilled that thing into your head, whatever it may be, intentional or unintentional,
right? Key.
It shows up in the world.
So our lucky number is 18. Mm-hmm. He was born on March 18th. He was 18 inches long. His dad and I were 18. He was born in room 218. 18's been our number.
He's going to have 18 jets.
Right?
Thank you for that, because you just expanded my vision. It's always been a 3 and it's a multiple. Yeah, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. 18 is my number now. I need to have 18 jets. A fleet of 18 is going to be perfect.
Yeah, so we do that. When we're driving somewhere and we see 18 on the back of a plate or whatever, we're going in the right direction.
I'm very aware of those things. And it's important to look at those signs, that they're reassurance signs from the universe, whatever you want to call it, that you're headed in the right path. And it's just more so confidence and reassurance and peace of mind that you're, whether it's superficial or not, it works. It makes me feel good. And if feeling and getting at the vibration is the most important thing, then I'm there.
I believe in it. And it's worked for me. I'm a result of thinking in that capacity of imagining, selecting, projecting, expecting, and collecting. We talked about that. That's my acronym.
Beautiful. Can you say it again?
It's SPEC.
So there's an acronym called SPEC, S-P-E-C, and it stands for select. So you're selecting the thing that you want, that you're going after.
Okay.
Thing that you desire. P. You're projecting it into your mind and bring it into the physical world too. Draw it. Have fun with it. Be a kid again. Kids are good at this. I've got 2 little creators, and they remind me how to be a kid again. And it's so helpful for what I'm getting ready to say. So project, putting it in paper, putting it in your mind. What's it feel like? What's it taste like? How is it? And what that creates is the faith to expect. So select, project, expect. I'm expecting it now. I'm in it. I'm already here. I'm driving I'm flying the jet. I got 18 of them, dude. One of them's purple, one of them's green. Here's the detail. You went into detail earlier, and that totally helped me, because I lack the detail sometimes as a project and product manager in a tech company. It's kind of funny to say that.
Can you visualize stuff to the end?
What's that?
Can you visualize your project to the end?
Can you see it to the end?
Yes, when I'm able to, right? And for me, let me finish the acronym real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
Project, expect, and then collect. It will come, and that's another. It's kind of another reinforcement to the faith. But let me take that a step further. being a thinker and being a guy that like goes down the rabbit hole, I believe a lot of people call this the universe. I can't stop there. What is the universe? And that gets deep. I'm not
Something
going to
that's
go down
unexplainable.
in that road, but I personally believe, without any hesitation or resonate, like I believe that there is a creator. I believe that we were made from the same substance that binds galaxies. And I believe I am here because of I was ordained, I'm created. The things that I can do are a gift. Consciousness is a gift. No human can explain it. We're not meant to. When you have a baby, there's footprints in the sand. And then I'm going to get off this tangent. I had a son. I love my son dearly. He's made in my image. I knew his name before he knew his name. See where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. Footprints in the sand for me. I tried to macro view everything. And my son there's this one situation where my son needed to leave the nursery. He was in his nursery and he couldn't get out. He's a baby, he's crawling. I am his God, I'm his creator. I know what he needs. And I love him so much. I want to give him everything I could possibly give him. There's nothing he can do to tarnish that, right? He can't disconnect from me. Mm-hmm. You understand this?
Oh, 100%.
So when my son needed to get through the door, this is just a situation that I'm thankful that I was presented and to recall. He needed to leave the door. He's crawling out, and he starts to cry, and he's upset. And all he had to do was ask. I want to see him win. I want to see him successful. I want to see him. I want him to be connected to me. I love him dearly. Interesting. Think on that. Take this rule, this law, this real thing, and deeply explore it, and be prepared. That's how and I get chills thinking about it. This trip coming out here like reminded me about these things and the things that I know I need to do to get in that creative space. Mm-hmm. Genuinely. And it was Daryl was the first catalyst to it. Man, if you spend time around Daryl and people like you, you expand, and I'm thankful for that. But anyway, that's my situation of, that's where I've taken it very far through that, through scripture, not just in the Christian faith and through that scripture, but I explore Matthew 7:8, right? Matthew 7, ask, seek, find. I think the law of attraction is a gift. I think it is, and
not everybody has it.
Yeah,
and not everybody understands how to use it.
No, not everybody cultivates it.
Yeah,
you can cultivate it in your life.
Anybody can have it.
You're distracted by it, or you're distracted to not hone into it, to discover you and find connection to source. See, now again, we're going into what is source? How is source? We're not meant to fully understand. We're infants. That's where I have my own struggles. I try to understand, try to fathom, aggressively curious, right? We probably have similarities.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In that, but so seek and find, ask. You want to hear? Let's do something crazy.
Okay.
On the count of 3, without moving your lips, without saying anything, say what this is in your head. This cameras can see, right? And do this if they can see us or hear us.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Who heard that? Mic drop.
Right? I know.
Who heard that?
Wow.
Where'd that go?
Right.
Went somewhere. Thoughts are things,
now,
powerful
I hope
things.
That's the start for somebody to start asking and seeking. I hope. That's my responsibility to try to give, that, I feel like.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. I challenge you.
Energy can't be created or destroyed, right? No, we're told. Oh, he said that.
Look who's on the wall.
I must subconsciously seen him. Mr. Tesla, right?
Yep, Nikola Tesla. For those of you that are
I
listening.
didn't even go to class in high school. I don't know how I remembered his name.
Well, I don't know if you... first I want to challenge you.
Please.
To report back to me on how clear you have gotten on the details of your vision of where you're going.
Yep.
Because the way Daniel described his jets, and he didn't get down to the colors, but he can tell you all the colors.
I can tell you every color of the jet. I can tell you the tail
I know.
numbers on
do
the
that
jets.
with
I can tell
everything
you
in your life,
Yeah.
and next year you'll be mind blown.
Oh no, I know. And the reminder that came from you great humans and Daryl, it's been wonderful. And I'll report back, and I'm excited to get into the details. I know what needs to be done. I got to execute. I got to get into I have to gratefully get into that.
You'll be rewarded for that.
Yes.
You'll be greatly
Tenfold.
rewarded for it when you enter the space, whether you're successful in what you do or not, in the direct proportion which you are expecting. It's always serving you.
I'm thankful to have it. I think that's partly why I feel like, similarly to you guys, you want to give it away.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yes,
That's why I'm here
Ours
doing
to
this.
give.
It's my duty to give back. It's like once you start doing well and enough people, the reason I started this, I'm like, dude, we help out so many people. Like the girl that just came into our office. You see the people that are in their own realms that are like, they're doing well, or they've done well, and they're in a new role, and we help them pivot. Now we kind of just are those catalyst people that are like, we know how to do this and make it simple for people. We make it really simple.
Right.
And I think that people overcomplicate shit. They get paralyzed. They need somebody I need people to help me get across that path. I get held up on shit too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that I need people to help me. I need to be that for somebody else.
Yeah.
Whether it's a 20-minute meeting and making it in, that didn't make me direct ROI. Most of the stuff I do every day doesn't make me direct ROI, but I understand the direct ROI in relationships.
Right.
And I value the relationships more than I do the ROI. People over paychecks.
I set that appointment, but it included him.
But I had to spend my time and energy. And that drains my energy.
Yeah.
Spending time with people drains my energy.
Yeah.
So it's very,
Especially
very.
as an introvert, right?
Yeah. So it's very
like
selective. That was all, and I was like hyped, and then she was like weird, and then on that it brings me to a level, and I'm like trying to figure out the situation.
She couldn't figure out what was going on.
And she wanted to have control of the situation, and it took everything out of me because I wanted to help her, and I just took a step back instead of helping her because she wasn't ready. I met her where she was at.
It's harder as you progress through the levels. Does that make sense?
Oh, I totally agree.
You guys are really high level. So even like me, or the position where I'm at now, while I understand it, if I looked at this like the gym, you guys got pretty big biceps. You guys got pretty big, you guys are muscular in this, let's call it brain work. And, what I would encourage you to do is, don't ever stop, right? Like, don't ever stop. Because I'm excited to see her just being in proximity with new information. Again, I'm in tech. I'm going to use this analogy. Information changes people's lives. Information changes
my life.
Changes apps. You got an app and it gets an update, gets new information, new additives to it, can revolutionize the experience. Same thing true if we were all, cell phones. By being in proximity with you guys, I'm getting different information. I'm evolving. I'm becoming. And we have all heard, and you're like the 5 people you spend the most time around, right? All that stuff.
Those are facts.
It's due to information. And it's nonverbal, it's verbal, it's energy, which you can go down a rabbit hole on that if you choose. But
energy is the most important thing.
But what a reward! What a reward to impact. Mm-hmm. I got a military background, so entrepreneurship for me became the sedative, if you will, became this new mission forefront.
This is your mission.
I could stay up late. I could impact people. I could serve at a high level.
Responsibility, leadership.
It is, and especially so we can get into the transitioning of like most veterans and what's happening now, which is super negative, like suicide, things like that are dark. It's because you lose your new mission forefront. You go from like playing a high level position in the mission, whether you're flying jets, whether you're saving lives, whether you're a gear in the cog of the Department of Defense and such. Like you play a high role and you make that your thing, right? So transitioning from that, your identity is totally warped in some cases for my brothers and sisters, and especially if you spend a long time doing it, you almost become institutionalized.
Oh yeah.
To the way that things roll. And the paradigm shift for me was realizing, okay, here's my military, here's my life. My military career was from here to here, and I used to keep it separate. Like this was my military life. Now I'm a civilian. Like I'm doing the civilian thing now. And that typically would make you feel negative, like you've left something behind. But your life is linear. This was a chapter in your linear life. You're still who you are and what you became and the position that you felt, the experience that you have. Give yourself permission to continue to thrive and solve problem stuff. So I'm a huge proponent that military folks in general should be solving problems in entrepreneurship. I'm sure you guys are going
And you just made me spark an idea. I'm like, how can we solve a problem in that space?
You're going to serve them
But that's what I'm saying, because this is like blowing my mind right now, because like I just think of business as opportunities. I'm like, how can we help people transition into business? Because those are the best business people.
I love
we love our military clients,
Oh,
and like and we love helping them. And not only helping them like do that, we help them build wealth and get on the right financial plan, and that's what she does for them. And an even further step, how do we help them in business? How can we help them transition to flipping houses or getting into real estate, or helping in our space, or connecting them, being a servant of like connecting them with the right people to transition. And
I'm the guy, like, my friends, I'll stab you in the face. I'm never gonna stab you in the back. I'm gonna tell you, if the baby's ugly, the baby's ugly. You got a booger on your face, I'm not the dude in high school who's gonna let you walk around with it.
Heck no.
Hey bro, you got a booger in your face.
All right.
She will too. She will.
I say that to like set up this point that a lot of people and define themselves by a lot of the negative, like leaving the military, especially like my combat guys, they define that I have PTSD. I have these ailments. They become their ailments. They become the negative things that's shaping them in a downward spiral. I don't allow that shit, right? When I talk to my military brothers, the flag on our uniforms, right, faces in a way where it would wave because we go forward towards obstacles. Nothing fucking changed. You left the military. Sure, you left this chapter of your life maybe, or maybe you're even in the military and you started defining yourself as somebody that isn't capable, or somebody that is ailed in some way, shape, or form. That's not what you were trained to do. Let me look at the camera. It's not what you're trained to do. Figure it the fuck out. And that's my approach to it. A lot of people can't say that because they didn't wear the uniform, or they you see what I mean?
Oh, I get it. I love that because...
And I love them so much that I need them to find their new position in the mission. So does their family. So does the fucking world right now, more than ever. I get so passionate about that. The state of things, fear.
That's what we talked about. We talked about the world needs more leaders right now. The world needs more people like you speaking your message to your people, like me speaking my message to my people. It's our duty. If we have a message, if we've done well, if we've done things, and we can help other people, if you can, you must.
I would have never guessed you were military when I met you, because like your demeanor and stuff, you're an anomaly.
Different. I'm
You're different.
Very different.
I don't even want to label you. I think it's not fair to label people. I just because they're so people are so. You can't even put a word. It's an energy exchange. Right. You recognize the right energy when people have it. It's either you have it or you don't.
It was by intention. It was by aggressive curiosity. I started reading books. I started asking questions. I started unpacking the attributes that the people had that I admired. Same as you. You talked about doing the same thing. You both. And people need to do that. You need to get curious. You need to ask questions and stop putting yourself in a category that you can't have it.
Limiting beliefs.
I'm a dude from a 50,000 person, from KOMO, Indiana. It's a blue collar spot. Great people. I love my city. I moved back there on purpose. From Dubai and Kuwait. My family's there. That's what matters. That's very important. My tribes.
Right.
They don't have to be blood to be tribe. You guys are now my tribe.
Right.
Exactly.
I love that. I need that. You too.
Yeah.
You got to find your tribe.
Great. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's been a blessing.
All right, where was I going with that?
Your people. You're talking about where you came from. You came from a small town.
I own a multi-million-dollar software company. I'm bidding on billion-dollar contracts. I have given myself permission to make large amounts of money and handle that, be a steward of that. I'm not.
I give myself permission.
I don't even like saying like I'm not. I am special, but so are you, person listening to this. So are you, person that I have the same tools, resources, and things here as you do. I hope you believe that.
Les Brown says something.
I genuinely
what did you say right before that? I was writing it down. I stopped.
About being aggressively curious?
No. I missed something there. It was really good. It's all good.
Your tribe?
It's okay. It'll come.
We can.
You can listen.
I can listen
again.
back. I'll go back.
Good thing we're recording.
I don't remember, sorry.
Les Brown says you have to want it as bad as you want to breathe?
No. When you succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was Les Brown, but Les Brown talks about you got to be hungry, and you got to be hungry. So it starts with getting pissed off, or I want to get out of where you're at, and then moving, recognizing that there's an issue here, and you're not where you want to be.
Restlessness and discontent is always the start to change.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to be so fucking pissed off. You have to be so fed up that you're like, no longer going to do this bullshit. Oh, I remember what it was. You said, I give myself permission. And that's very important. You need to give yourself permission to be successful. You need to give yourself permission to do big deals. You need to give yourself permission to have the good people in your life. And you need to give yourself permission to no longer have limiting beliefs hold you down. And I think that needs to be heard.
Finding those, what are those? So for me, let me talk on that for a second. I'm 32 years old. I'm a grown dude. Been to combat, been to places all over the planet. Have lived away from my, outside of my parents' household. But I'm again saying that to set this up. I recognized what my personal limiting beliefs were. Some of them I still have work to do. I'm on a journey just like everybody else. One of the things for me personally was making more money than anyone else in my family was holding me. Like, I didn't know this until I did some self-work. I did an audit and was thinking on it. I heard somebody talk about it. And I was like, man, dude, I called my mommy and daddy. I called mom and dad separately. They weren't on the phone at the same time. And I asked, because I got a son now and a daughter, and I want them to be successful. I know what that feels like, but I had to hear them say it for me. And like, that gave me, I'm a grown man, but when my mom and dad were encouraging me, they encouraged me also with some they gassed me up too, and gave me some directional on that. They want the best for me. They want to see me win. They can celebrate that. For whatever reason in my head, that was one of my obstacles, was like, and dude, like after that moment, when I called my mom and dad, and some people, you're unfortunate, you don't have those people right now. Find somebody who's a mentor. Find somebody that, think on that for yourself. Maybe this isn't the thing that's holding you back, but get permission. Have those conversations with folks and give yourself permission. That was one thing that helped me, was when my dad, I want you to win, son. Go out and be successful. Okay, well, I don't have to worry about it. My dad just said, go win. Mm-hmm. I'm ready. And dude, you're so fortunate.
She gave me permission to be successful. She said, you go get it. She gave me permission? She quit her job and she believed in me enough to where she was willing to give up what she had, a guaranteed income, safety net, because I had a vision. That's fucking like.
And it's powerful.
And then I told her.
I'm just a workhorse. He has
and then
the vision.
But I tell her,
don't see it like him. But
I'm like, we're driving in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and you're in the passenger seat, and it's extremely uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. Buckle up. We're going to go 200 miles an hour. You're going to be screaming and kicking, thinking you need to slow down. I'm going to be fucking like. And now I explain, like, we're on a jet. We're out cruising altitude. We're at 35,000 feet.
Yeah.
And you can feel it. It's different. It's not like we're like throttle. We're just intentional. We know where we're going, and we're fucking cruising.
Sick.
But it's about getting to that point and elevating yourself. And sometimes you go down, Mm-hmm. But it's about staying at that elevated. It's getting to that elevated point and finding whatever that it means for you.
Right.
Might mean time with the kids. Fucking elevated moment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents never. I said that wrong. My parents always told me I could do anything that I wanted, but they didn't emulate the same life that I wanted. So I had to be very careful. My dad has great sayings, but he never gave himself permission to
be successful.
He
didn't have. Nobody gave him permission. So people have.
He would always get to that point and then sabotage. Get to that point and then sabotage. And so I've watched him get. He
made more people with success. He made more people. I'm sure millionaires and billionaires than I will maybe ever make in my life. It's powerful.
But he would sabotage himself a lot. And same with my mom. So I wanted to do different for Daniel.
And she did.
My part, what I think about too, and again, welcome to my brain. I'm always thinking in clusters. They call it ADD. I call it a gift. To be able
It's a
gift. You learn I love it.
I analyze. I just process a lot. Again, blessing and a curse. But my father is still my hero to this day, man. I'm so grateful that I had him growing. He was the guy that could connect with me and explain things in a capacity that made sense. He would de-escalate my emotions. He would direct me towards different. He was a mentor, still is to this day. And when things go bad, I think it's really important to have people that have your six. And when I say that, have your back, it's a military thing, I guess. You got your six. And my dad's still that. But what he is, guiding me through and coaching me through really is just being present and being grateful in the reality of now. I think one of the thing that's important to him is because he knows like how much of a builder and a thinker and a planner and I want to execute things. He wants me to remain present in the process of those things. So in the exploration of that suggestion from my dad, I've found that there's typically 3 ways that people think. You're either thinking in the future, which in a lot of cases can cause anxiety or stress, because it's almost like coming from a place of lack. It can at times, not always a bad thing, but if you're constantly thinking about the future, it can cause discomfort. The other way of thinking is in the past. If you're thinking about the past, a lot of times people are negative in that. They'll look back, I could have done this, I should have done this. This is when I was having the best time of my life. This was amazing. This was the spot. This is when things were going good, and it creates stress and depression. Mm-hmm. Where you are the most connected and where you're the most happy, your gratitude is when you're here. So here in the present, that's the other way of thinking, is being present, being mindful. We were talking about yoga before. That's one bridge to get there. The other is just for me, and we talked about this earlier off camera, but I feel. And do this. If you're listening to this right now, take a second and just, close your eyes, feel, in your hands, right? You're touching. Take a deep breath. And like, that's a gift. You're here. You're right back here. And what a wonderful thing. And what a gift to be in the present. You won the lottery.
Oh yeah.
And like, I'll give a shout out to Bradley too. I hope you guys can connect at some point. He lives out here.
I met him.
You do?
I gotta tell you.
Meet him yet.
I gotta tell you
we
that
got a story about Bradley.
You go first.
I want you to finish.
So Brad, I've never met the dude in person yet. Brad, for seeing this, I still want to meet you. I'm gonna come bug you. He has all these little clips and snippets that I just deeply admire. He just hits with these little resonating facts. And I catch him from time to time because I've engaged with this stuff. And I think because I DM him on Instagram, it knows. But Brad was talking about a situation where he was talking to young guys. He's got a podcast, he does stuff. And the guy was like talking about money. And money was this thing that he thinks would be the catalyst to solving his problems. It would make everything great. So the story goes, he's talking to this kid. And Brad's like, I'll put 10 million in your account right now. How do you feel? What does that do for you? And the kid's like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm going to do this and buy this. And he's excited. He's kind of on air thinking about it, which is fun. But then Brad was like, but the catalyst is you can't wake up tomorrow morning. You still want that money? And it was this like paradigm shift where the kid was like,
oh shit.
Oh. He says, so wait a second. So what you're saying is you value tomorrow, you value waking up more than $10 million. And so it's just like, dude, like lights, flipped, and it just reminds you to do what we just did, to be present and grateful for what you have right where you're at, which is only going to create more, growth, right? So anyway, that's...
But take it a step even further.
Hit me.
If you value your life to waking up tomorrow more than 10 million,
mm-hmm.
How much is every day worth? How much is your time worth?
Right.
Then you're like, fuck.
Just thinking.
You start changing the things you do and the places you go, right?
And what you consume and the value that you even put on yourself. I love that. And
because where's my time being spent? Is this really serving me at my highest purpose right now?
Mm-hmm. Start
evaluating situations. Start looking at life like that. Like, my time's worth more than 100 million.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing? And if there's billionaires out there that are pieces of shit, why can't I go get $1 billion and do something good with it?
Mm-hmm. I think money.
And I give myself permission to. And I want to talk. That's leading into the next thing. What's your beliefs and thoughts on money? Because everybody has their own.
I think it amplifies who you are, and you have to be I talked about this earlier, becoming a good steward. I think in clusters of things. When I imagine making millions and millions of dollars, I think the fear or apprehension for me is, who do I become in that? And what will my results be for my family and the people around me? Like I take that super serious. If I make a large amount of money, how does that not crush me? It's like, if I had to give an analogy, it's like being at the gym. How am I prepared to bench press 350? Am I ready for that? What happens if you stack on all this weight? Am I able to carry it? Will I be a good steward of this weight? Same thing's true. The way I look at it, when it comes to like money, So I have a different relationship with it now. I've given myself permission beyond what most people have, unfortunately, for themselves.
And when did that shift happen for you? When do you remember?
That's a great question. I think it happened almost like accidentally in a way. It was intentional to a little bit. So like I found a workbook.
Nothing happens on accident. If you think about it, like, damn, that's the pivoting point. I found this workbook. It was just by chance.
I'm trying to remember, back when it was definitely information, right, that brought me on this journey to reading books and understand, like,
what shifted your mindset about money, where you gave yourself permission? Like, when did you give yourself permission to, like, okay?
So one of them was talking to my parents, right, and getting their permission because I had a negative connotation to it. The other one was just belief that I deserve, like I could have it. Just like the confidence wasn't there initially when I was growing up. If somebody told me you can make $100,000 a month, I would have been like, that's too, no. So I think it happened like proving it through what we built and seeing it in real world, like seeing the transactions. So many transactions come through my phone that my phone would like die from like Stripe notifications. Like the belief, the reaffirm, is that the word? Reaffirmation of that this is possible, and I am doing it. I am capable. So it really was like throwing mud on the wall and then belief. Really that I'm worth millions. I can have millions, have whatever I want. I don't know. Does that explain it?
Yeah, I'm just curious where it came from. I'm just like, now you got me like, I'm like, where is this? Like, where does the pivot happen for people? It's always interesting. What changed it? It's not really a pivot. It's like a thing that lasts over time. It's like the Chinese bamboo tree or plant. Does it grow in 5 years or 90 days? Or whatever the analogy is.
So for me, like what helped me bridge and like start believing and seeing was
I want people to
workbook.
know that that's like possible. Yeah, they talk about the work.
Think and Grow Rich, right? A lot of people know that book. The first time I read it, I was ushered to it by a guy that makes a lot of money, does government contracting, a good friend. He wanted to help me.
What's a lot of money?
For him, he probably does well over like $200 million a year.
Okay.
Or more. I don't know. I never discussed
I'm just
that.
curious what the money, back to the money thing, like perception.
When
of
I
money.
think about a lot of money,
some people think a lot of money is like 10 grand. Some people think a lot of money is 100 grand. Some people think a lot of money is,
what is that?
What is a lot of money?
I know you're like, what is the thing that shifts that? I'd love to define it for folks, but I think even just us talking about it right now, hopefully like they're becoming keen.
Well, Think and Grow Rich is what got my, Think and Grow Rich is a base, like it's a map. Holy shit, you have a map to success. And you can break it down.
The first time I read it, dude, I mean, you got to think, I came from the military, right? Where it's very structured. It's do what you say. Don't ask, you know what I mean? Like, don't rock the boat. You got a mission to do. Here it is, laid out in front of you. Follow this.
Don't question the mission.
Yeah, to now, like just like stumbling into, I can create things in my head. I can, like, there's some power to that. Like I can define my rules. I can define like my, so this is totally different paradigm. So that book helped me bridge. The first time I read it, I was like, this is nuts. The only reason I picked it up is because a very successful person in my mind, told me to do it. Check this out. This is information you need. Dig into it. Don't treat it like a like a book that's enjoyable. Treat it like curriculum, like a
Your
course.
study, do it chapter at a time,
like college
digest
or
it,
something.
take notes, and
Yeah.
like practice it, understand it, read it again.
Dig into it, right? So I did the first time. I read through it, and I was like, it went straight over my head.
Oh yeah.
Being honest, and I was like, this is a load of junk, dude.
The first 3 times I read it, I didn't understand it.
And I had to do mind work outside of like that book. I had for me to discover. I had, again, maybe being aggressively curious. Like, well, it's taken longer to get into the reality of that law attraction. But I thought it was a load of junk, and I had to understand. This is maybe nerdy at a scientific level, a quantum physics level, like how it works, why it works, what's occurring, quantum physics, like understanding, like at a cellular level or at an atom level, what is going on, and you get down to it, and it's mystery. No one knows, like the creator knows. You get down to like actually the nitty gritty of anyway. So
I call it a quantum moment. I heard it on Andy Fischel's podcast, and he was talking with this guy Charlie Rocket, and they're talking about having a quantum moment.
yeah,
And it's like, dude, I have those moments where you're like, you just connect, and you there's these,
Charlie's super inspirational.
yeah, you have these pivotal points. So like it's pivotal. It's like, oh shit, other people recognize this, and that was like my big like aha moment when I was like, okay, like what I know, I believe in what I know now. Once I heard that, what the quantum moment, and that like other people knew what quantum moment was, and like speaking things into existence, like that's powerful.
Sure.
And like once you understand the real like how to do that, like what a quantum moment is, and having the right intentions, and like it's powerful.
That's what's done. So I made my first.
Science.
Well, I made my first $1 million after, and I made my first $1 million thinking about it first. Like exactly what we're talking about. We're just kind of caveating off of what you're saying. I wrote it down. I had it on a whiteboard. I believed it. I got chills. Same thing happened with True Fans. I got chills at like where this was going to go. And
When did you start True Fans?
when did that come from?
that was about 2 years ago now. And it started with like just identifying the problems. We talked about that downstairs, right? Like you love to see opportunities to serve and help, and
Oh, yeah.
you see solutions and systems, and that's going to make you wildly successful in business in general, is being able to solve problems. First identify, then have solutions. You're paid in direct proportion to your ability to get people results. That's why Apple makes so much money. That's why all these, solving problems and serving, that's it. That's the secret, is getting customers, making them really, 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 really happy at the end of the day.
Customer
Complexities
satisfaction
in
is the most
there's
important thing.
complexities in those two statements.
But the
those are
basic
it.
thing is create a good customer experience.
Yeah.
And if you can change their life through their experience, it'll change yours.
Definitely. And so the problems that we identified in this space was that creators aren't paid enough at all now. It's happening right now. You don't make they don't make nearly enough. Additionally, there's demonetizations. There's a lot of like strict policies, and right now people are being banned and deleted, censored for all sorts of different reasons. I'm not going to dive into that. It's not my platform, so I might come at, but I just, something in me, I like freedom. I like, I support. Anyway, those were some of just like the key problems. Limiting reach. Algorithms are designed to benefit advertisers, and not you, like as a creator. As a creator, you only get so much reach unless you pay to play. So the shift was, let's get creators empowered. Let's help people get paid to post. Let's help people realize that as a creator, as someone with influence online, number one, you need to see yourself as a business and recognize like the power that you have to convert people into your community, and the realization that you're the one that's moving the traffic. People are coming to these platforms because of the creator, because of the content.
Right.
It's being generated. It's not being generated by robots, to the best of my knowledge. It's being generated by the human creatives. So our mission was to be the most logical choice platform for content creators around the planet. You do music, you got a home here that doesn't have the stigmas. If you're a chef, you've got a home here. If you're an educator, a business person, maybe you do Forex, stocks, you're teaching people that. You have a community. We want to help you get paid through it, to monetize it and convert traffic.
So like I want to create a course to help other people learn what I've learned, and I've filmed it. I just haven't figured out the right platform,
like medium to use. Yeah. So this would be something that we would show you strategically. Who are you? Who's your audience? What are your objectives? How much do you want to make? I go into like doctor mode, physician mode, or gym guy mode. What kind of six pack what's important to you? We've got a platform, but I need to understand, or my team needs to understand what it is that you want to achieve. Then we put together the roadmap. We have the tools, we have the weights, if you will. It's just a matter of getting you up to speed to use those effectively for your goals. So yeah, man, it's been a really exciting platform. I've been able to meet thousands of just really rad people all over the planet. And like, that's one of the coolest things for me, is to hear their stories and get their feedback, like listening to things that they uniquely want and need from a functionality standpoint, because that's how we're going to become the best, is listening with the intent to engineer. You're telling me the thing you want. I just have to communicate that without ambiguity to our amazing, dev team, and they'll bring it to fruition as long as we can, communicate that through. So, it's just a different paradigm and it's actually aligning with what's happening with Web3 right now, which is the elimination of the middleman, right? So I don't know how many people.
So what is Web3? I don't even know, and we don't even really know what it is. So explain to us.
So Web 1 was computers and being able to send and receive messages to another person. Social media was like Web 2. We all became interconnected globally. I can send a message right now to somebody in Hong Kong, voice message, video, But ultimately what happened is there's some control, some companies that really stood out that own the infrastructure centered around that. Would you agree? Like,
absolutely.
Yes.
Big
100%.
companies that like
they don't allow you to have freedom.
Yeah, internet service providers, etc. Web3, and the reason why crypto is so phenomenal, just the concept of it in general, is that it eliminates this middle entity, this middle, whether it's in finance, like you can send money to people borderless without a traditional like centerpiece here. The system is its thing. Crypto, the contracts, the system in and of itself is that facilitator. So I just named one industry in which that's going to be massive, financial industry. But additionally, there's, social media. And we're playing a little part in that right now. We're there. There's also going to be internet service providers. There's a world where we can create an ecosystem of people that are utilizing a system that broadcasts connectivity, right? Those are some processing data where there's a group, like your phone is connected to this blockchain tech, and you can insert your digital files here, and the cloud or the technology is rendering this raw footage very fast, very efficiently, at low cost, like low energy consumptions. There's all these industries that are going to be impacted by this. Real estate will be impacted by it. We're in the very, very early stages. Very, very, so it's interesting once you do invest time in trying to understand these complex things, because it's new technology. It's like 10 plus years old, but it's now being like focused on. You start to get excited, and you can start verifying what the projects are that you admire, that have utility, that have opportunity, and you can put yourself in a position of prosperity. Get in the way of money is what Daryl says. I love that saying. Get in the way of money by seeing, looking at teams differently, looking at the projects problems they're looking to solve, and you'll understand it at a different level. So I would encourage people for sure to, you check your pulse. We're alive right now on the dawn of the new internet, and there's so much opportunity to.
What would you say are some of the opportunities that you see from an outsider position in the real estate world, since that's the world that we're in?
Real estate world?
Yeah, directly. I'm just curious.
Like In regards to crypto, or are we talking just in general?
Both. What do you see some of the opportunities as an outsider into
So
the
when
real
I see
estate?
like traditional business, what I see people lack, especially where I'm from, out in the Midwest, like information travels, I feel like slower out to the middle of the states. Not that there aren't profound, awesome people out there. There definitely are. Don't sleep on Indiana, all right? All you, don't sleep on this dude. A lot of people don't know how to even get into the pay-to-play markets. They don't know how to create conversion systems through behavioral-based email responses. They don't know how to create engines. What I mean by that is, let's say that I'm in real estate, right? The way I'm looking at it is I'm going to have an advertisement, I have an offer, a great offer that gets people into my funnel, machine, system, whatever you want to call it. It's my responsibility to take care of that person too. Let me use your powers for good once you understand this stuff. But you get into, you have a lead capture page, right? And maybe you're tracking a pixel, you're tracking like that data. Somebody just came here. Okay, who is that person? There's ways to do that. Some people think it's like magic, that you're being re-advertised to on all these other platforms. It's a pixel.
System.
Yeah,
it's a pixel data.
So learning how to use social media ads and creating systems that when you buy in, you pay $1, you get $1.50 out. Your return on these systems that are getting people into these categories or buckets or places you need. Call to action. So I think that's one thing that a lot of businesses are missing out on, is just getting a person that can create systems that sell digitally, broadcasting the results that they're able to achieve, services and such, and moving people through a well-designed system. Collecting their data, using that data, again, being a good steward of this. Once you learn this is internet marketing. I mean, there's experts out there too. You'll eventually probably have them on your podcast. It'll be dope. And I'll tune in and try to pick these are geniuses that just understand these tools and have used it effectively. What's his name? Alex Hormozy. There's a guy I was just listening to recently.
What's his last name?
Just a genius, freaking genius, dude. Like Alex Hormozy. He's at a higher level. So I want to get around people like that, right? Like just to hear their conversations. But he's in that world where people just deeply understand, setting up processes and systems for conversion of their offer. So that's one area. Let's see. Just me being ignorant in the real estate world. I've got buddies that are in it in a big way. I've always loved the concept of, what were we talking about earlier? Wholesaling?
Wholesaling, yeah.
Love the concept of that. Never done it personally. I'm going to pick your brain on that just because at one point I want to just convert, see what it's like, because I feel like it's just such a great opportunity. But as far as I'd have to get in it. If I spent time, just like you, if you spent time like in my world, you're going to be able to help.
You're going to be able to see those. I'm just
efficiently.
curious from more so the consumer side of things, seeing how it can make the process better.
Hopefully the consumer.
And I think, it really, the blockchain's cool and how it can be used to
VR. I mean, that's the next step. People are buying online.
She told me
2012.
People are buying
She told me
online.
2012.
They're making purchase decisions online, and this has been happening for a while. But in real estate, it's just a little more challenging. So you have to do virtual tours effectively, like at cost, and then the consumers have to be injected, or not injected. What's a better word? It has to be simple. It has to be simple for them to go to a website like Zillow or go to whatever the website is and be able to easily walk through this place. And VR is happening right now. The metaverse, it's kind of like a hot topic right now. People are talking about the metaverse, and there will be a world where you got an eyepiece in, whatever, you got glasses, you got a headset on, and you're looking at properties, and you'll be able to tour them without leaving your house. It's happening now at a smaller scale, but the person that can simplify that and create a great experience, it's easy. Everything has to be easy and fast. The demand is high in tech nowadays. But the person that can facilitate that in the real estate world will do exceptionally well, I think. You agree?
We're going to have a great conversation over dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a whole, dinner conversation of what my plans are.
Yeah.
I just been waiting for the right people to cross paths with, and that's maybe why you're here. So I've had this thing for about 5 years, 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just been waiting for the right people. because I know I'm gonna need a fucking army
Yeah.
to go where I'm going, because I'm battling against. I mean,
Gorillas, like big giant. Big
I mean,
gorillas.
no, I am.
Oh my.
It's a big pool, and you understand, and I think that you understand that, and that's what makes you special, because you're like understanding that I'm still willing to go through that and go to battle against these people, because I believe in what I believe in.
I got something to give. It's my responsibility. We talked earlier, and I told you, do what you can with what you have right where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I was specifically talking about your community and like what you can do there as a leader and impacting that area. But same thing's true. I take that same philosophy in technology or the work that we do. I want to, I have the capacity to understand, I think, a baseline where your head's at with that. But, being in the industry, when we work with clients, it's very important for us to understand the results that they're after and help them get clear without ambiguity in this prototyping phase, in this design phase, so we can cross the T and dot the I and get on target with that, with our estimates, with the end result that they're aiming for in the tech or app space, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of planning that goes into it, but you're very detail oriented. I found that out a couple hours ago, so I think you're gonna do just fine. More efficiently than most folks, they're stakeholders.
I love it. Well, this is great. I'm so
No,
glad.
I have something.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to text me a list of at least 5 people that you want to meet.
Meet?
Oh, her Bradley thing. We never did
And then
that.
we'll tell you the Bradley story.
All right.
No, right now.
I want to meet Rob Deerdeck.
Right.
He's been somebody that I've admired since I was a kid. There hasn't been a whole lot of celebrities. I want to meet
It doesn't have to be a celebrity.
that person. I know, but somebody that you're aware of. Rob Deerdeck is a dude.
It's your list.
Send him an email. Send him a message.
It's your list.
It's gonna happen. But I'll write it down and send it to you. But that's definitely one. Brad, I DM Brad all the time, bug him.
Who's on the ridiculous list? Like fucking ridiculous. Like you just like absolutely the most ridiculous. Like think big. Why don't you think big and then stop and then think bigger? Who's that person?
Extraterrestrial.
Watch what you ask for, bro.
Careful.
Watch what you ask for.
Like that's for me. Like when I think like that, I love people for who they are, where they're at. And whether they make a lot of money or they're well notarized. Like I'm meeting you for who you are, where you're at. And if you're a genuinely good human being, like I want to know you. So there's so many of those. There's so many not that need to realign, whatever. But so like I haven't created like this list of people that I deeply want to meet. I want to meet folks that I guess I have a category. I will meet folks that want to impact the world and solve problems that have the characteristics of they're builders. I need to meet more builders. I will meet more people that are good dudes that want to solve problems at a high level. I want those people to be my friends. I want to make large amounts of money with those types of men.
Let's go get it. I love it.
That's it. I can get more definitive. I need details, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
How can people find you?
Or how can people support your cause and what you're doing more
just
so?
like rally or share us. If you know somebody that could benefit from, like somebody with an audience. If you're somebody with an audience, reach out. We have an application process on our website. Again, we're invite only. So maybe reach out to you direct. I'll make sure that you get. You can be a gatekeeper.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I love that.
Right. So then you
love
can
to be a part of your mission.
You can decide like who
I want to live in.
meets the criteria, right? Like who's ready.
It's important.
Yeah, and even be a facilitator there. Let's just do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
If somebody's interested,
Reach out.
If somebody's watching this and you are a creator, or somebody that is a creator and they want to get paid to post, they're ready to monetize, they have a community, reach out to this team. They'll have a link or they already probably know how to reach out to you guys, right? They have your Instagrams and stuff through your podcast.
Yeah.
Reach out and then they can apply through you, and you'll be the gatekeeper to see if they meet. They're a great community creator candidate for us. But to reach out to me, I'm just now starting my personal brand, so I literally just created like 2 YouTube videos, and this is me running towards the challenges, the apprehensions of being on camera and stuff. Growing through that. It's my resistance, right?
What's your YouTube?
So my YouTube is my name, Tim Branyan, TIMBRANYAN. I'm on LinkedIn. I've got a TikTok.
Oh, I can't wait to
It's
watch
all
it.
Tim Branyan, all TIMBRANYAN. You can Google me, I think. We've got PR and stuff like that. You can see our news articles and connect with me that way through social media. Perfect. Thank you guys for the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to a prosperous relationship and anything I can do to be of service to your missions and goals. My team and I are here to do that as well. So thank you. And yeah,
Awesome.
I'm saluting right now. For just like visual.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. So it's been an amazing podcast. Thank you for watching the One Hustle Show. If this podcast resonated with you like it did with me, please share it with the people you care about. That's the most important thing. Share it with the people that you want to inspire. Share it with the people that are your tribe. I think that's the most important thing. And I hope you guys got a ton of value from this today. I hope you actually take something, take a few things from this, write it down, and implement it into your actual everyday life, and challenge you to do that. We're going to be doing a giveaway on the channel. You have to make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. We want to give back to you and give you a shout out. We want to show the love to you like you show the love to us.